So I suppose I should tell you the long-term plan for the yard.
So let's look at an aerial view of our yard. A couple of things to consider with this is we have a slope. The back of the yard is the highest part and down towards the house is the lowest part. So anything we do, we'll have to take this into consideration.
There is basically going to be 3 areas. Area 1, I will call play and discovery.
With this area, the first thing we're going to need to do is remove the rocks. Then we're probably going to try and trim down those shrubs at the end and then decide whether or not it makes sense to put in a sand pit or some other activity to fill that space.
Area 2, I will call sports and entertainment.
So the first thing we need to do in this area is we need to build up the rock wall. There is already one there, but we need to make it higher. We then are planning to put in some kind of sports court or some kind of activity area. And then if everything goes to plan, put in an outdoor kitchen for the pizza oven. As you can see, there is a huge amount of work that needs to go into this space. And it's actually the number one reason we bought the excavator is leveling this area. It's big, we want to use it. I'll go through the specifics of each area a bit later in the video.
And area 3, I would call storage and functionality.
This area is probably the biggest unknown, and it's not something we're going to be doing anytime soon. Whether or not we're going to use that defunct shelter to make a veggie patch, that shed's got to go, whether or not it becomes an equipment shed, whether we put in a fire pit, it's completely up in the air and it's not on the radar until mid-2026.
There's potentially going to be a 4th area called fire pit, but I don't know where that's going to be yet because it could kind of tee into potentially storage and functionality, or it could kind of just end up somewhere in the middle of one of those sections.
We know we want to add a fire pit, we're just not sure on the location yet, and it's also not a massive priority with 2 young boys.
Probably the easiest to finish will be play and discovery space. That involved moving the trampoline over. You can starting to see some grass coming in as we've put our retaining wall. But probably the next bit we're going to need to do to finish this is safeten up this area here. As you can see, it's rocks, shrub spikes. Yeah, asking for a kid to get impaled on one of those. Here's another one. That's something that goes through a kid's foot. And then we've got kind of just these agapanthery thingies. So the plan for this one is pretty straightforward. Pull it all out and grass it. It's going to be the first one we're working on because right now it is the late September. And in the southern hemisphere in Australia, it's a great time to put down grass seed.
Also, depending on how easy it is to pull those shrubs out, we might put a sand pit in, we might not. It's not urgent, we just want to get the grass seed down.
So the plan is hopefully tomorrow, make those rocks disappear and grass it. That will complete the play and exploration space.
Moving over to sports and entertainment,
The plan for this is we actually have a fairly sizable pad, which we actually have started deconstructing, and it looks chaos at the moment, and it will get worse before it gets better. The plan is there is kind of a rock wall here already. Here you can see the elements of a rock wall. We want to build that rock wall up 2 or 3 rocks higher. We want to continue that rock wall out to around our fence line, and then we want to go up the fence line. What we then want to do is roughly where that tree is, we're going to start digging down a little bit and pulling the dirt towards us, because the plan is to put in a sports court or a basketball court or a area to ride bikes, trikes, with like a little kitchenette or something off it for barbecues. That's the plan for that space. That's probably going to be the biggest challenge, because I've never done something like that.
Look at the fear in Neo's eyes. He knows he's not capable of such feats. He knows this is gonna suck. He is scared of failure and scared of progress. He has never done anything like this. He's gonna put it up on YouTube for everyone to criticize.
Moving to the back.
This area is probably the biggest unknown right now. What we've got here is we had a shed and we had some kind of pavilion or gazebo or storage space. It's hard to really say, but what it was used for before we moved in was they had chickens in here. Look at the grass go absolutely bananas because of all that nutrient in the soil. But anyway, the structure's pretty cooked. Like all the wood is rotted out, but there is a steel structure which is in place and it's holding all the different bits of it together quite well. So you could pull all the wood out and then you would just have a steel frame. Or you could leave the wood for now and do something else with it. A couple of ideas I had was, does it become a shed space? So for example, replace the wood, put new metal sheets on the top and a couple of the sides. Or maybe it becomes a veggie patch, which is where I'm leaning to at the moment. But it's not a this year thing. We've missed start of spring, that's now. So it probably will happen next year. And then next to it is a shed. This shed is absolutely carcass. It's got holes in the roof. You can see straight through the building. It's not fit for use. It does not have power hooked up, even though it has power points. They just stick outside of the building. But it was used for a chicken home. Like you can see there's a couple of eggs still out on the ground. Before you ask, we're not getting chickens. We don't need to look after that. Next to that is just like another shed that was there plus a shed that we put in. But it's the biggest unknown. We'll wait and see what happens here.
So why make this video or any video? Oh, that's a beer. To hold myself accountable, to look back in 2 years if I haven't done it and egg myself on and say why. I'm not a tradesman. I have no experience in trades. One of my friends will attest to me calling them up when I was 23, asking if I needed to get special screws to drill them into a piece of wood for a small barbecue deck that I think, because my drill wasn't working properly, I just had the drill in reverse. I built that barbecue. We're good. It was shitty, but we built it. I've never concreted. I've never excavated. That's probably the next challenge. But there are lots of things I have done that if you go back in time I didn't do prior to that. Even 3 months ago I'd never used an excavator. I now have. If you go back 5 years ago, I'd never been a dad. I am now. I have 2 kids and I think I'm pretty good at that. You go back 10 years ago and I never thought I'd run my own business. I did that and I did that successfully. I've sold that. I don't do that anymore. You go back 15 years ago and I never thought I'd be a teacher. Well, I've done that now for 12-ish years. I never thought I'd do lots of things. This is holding myself accountable. I don't care if anyone watches this. I'll watch it and I'll go, you didn't make the sports court, or you never did the back area, and hopefully that will drive me to finish it. That's why. And hey, I'll document it and I'll get to have a beer on the way. Stay tuned.